Martin from the Philippines. We're here in Real Talk Lifeline. So, in this quick live part of the money series, the title of this is insurance real or a scam? So, where I'm coming from for this quick live is I'll be sharing my personal experience as a client, meaning a customer, and as an agent. So, someone who actually is on the other side who distributes or sells the products. So I'll speak first as a customer. So before I begin on this topic of insurance, more than a decade ago, before I got into the industry of life insurance and financial services, I was a non believer, super skeptical to this day. So this is why I felt the pull to actually do this live right now because I can actually speak from personal experience now. So, as a client or a customer, I've had recent claims, very recent actually, just last month, which was released some days ago. So, that was June, released in July. And then prior to that, April. And it took about a month to process that. So the first experience I had personally of claiming was from HMO or health insurance. So this one was actually a benefit, ironically, from my work as a life insurance agent. And when you reach 10 years, like with a company, the branch, they give you this benefit. So I have some health insurance, HMO. Um, it's about very entry level around 150,000 or so coverage. So long story short, April I got very sick. I thought it was food poisoning. It was really serious. I was trying to tough it out. I was rushed to a clinic. I got hooked up on an IV intravenous, cost around 8,000 plus for that. And I was able to reimburse with the help of that benefit, HMO benefit. So value care. Now, I'm not sponsored. I'm not trying to advertise any HMO or health insurance company, but this one was super helpful. The service, the way they cared for me and that money, which was a big amount during that emergency, I was able to reimburse it. I'm very grateful. So after that incident in April, around 2 months after, so I suddenly get sick again, and then this is June 2. Now, since it happened again, I wanted to get checked with a doctor now. So this time, long story short, doctor's initial diagnosis, June 10, when I got it scheduled, was diverticulosis slash cholelithiasis, something like that. So it's something to do with the intestines and potentially kidney stones. Initial diagnosis. So very serious. The doctor recommended that at once I take a CT scan. I had no idea what the doctor would say, the initial diagnosis, how much it would cost. Walk in to radiology. This is an Asian hospital. The CT scan costs 22,200 pesos. So it's a lot of money, in other words, here in the Philippines. So I didn't even have cash on hand, very embarrassing. So I actually had to borrow or ask help using the credit card of another person. So recently, I'm just fast forwarding when it came to that CT scan, the bigger one. So that's this one over here. So those are my results. Long story short, it's okay. I think the doctor took a look at it thoroughly. Results were normal, okay, irritable bowel syndrome. So I was able to reimburse after some time. Again, value care. Okay, we're back. So I was able to reimburse HMO, pay back that 22,000 pesos, which was a very big help. And that is an example of insurance. So health insurance or HMO. Now, prior to that, And I started my work in the life insurance industry November 2014. So this was just recent, that HMO claim this year 2025. Prior to that, the only other insurance claim that I witnessed was very incidental. So my brother, so I got into big bikes, motorcycles. My brother got this motorcycle, also big bike, a Kawasaki ZX-10R. He sold it, but it was still within the span of 1 year, and it did have CTPL, or comprehensive uh, insurance. So that's an example of vehicle insurance. So, long story short, the buyer of that motorcycle crashed it, total wreck. And then the comprehensive insurance was still within the 1 year period, very fortunately. And then the claim was allowed, it was approved. So that was around 700,000, 600 or 700,000 pesos, a lot of money. And I actually saw the check for that one. So prior to that, I had no experience with insurance, no experience with claims. I would think it's a scam. What is this? How does this work? So if you are just like that, I am just like you, right? So don't worry about it. So are there other types of insurance? Yes, so there's life insurance. Over the years, 10 plus years that I've been doing the work as a life insurance agent, I have processed or helped process at least two claims, a death claim, and the other one was a critical illness claim. So that was like a cancer, a living benefit claim. So is it real, our claims process? The answer is yes. The short answer is yes. And I'll get to the pro tip. Actually, we could jump into that right now. So I'm already sharing first my personal experience as a client, meaning a customer, and then now my experience as an agent. So, pro tips here coming from someone on both sides is, if you want a good experience with insurance, and this one was very reassuring, I got peace of mind. Back in 2019, Mr. Aya Laraya, who's been in the financial services industry for a long time, decades, 25 plus years. So he said this to me: insurance is worth it. They do pay out. But what's the key? Basta maayos ang documentation. So what does that mean? Make sure your documentation is proper. So do your due diligence. Make sure the company is legit. It's not like fly by night. Sometimes the company looks big and yet they can still fold or close down. So they're, again, back in the day, years ago, CAP, College Assurance Plan, there are other. I'm sharing these because these were FAQs, frequently asked questions, whenever I encounter clients, people who ask, is insurance a scam? There are other companies. It's not to pinpoint anyone, it's just based on experience, right? So if you trust a good company, and there's always a risk, but like life insurance companies, they're governed by the insurance commission. There's a law wherein if a life insurance company closes down, a bigger one will have to absorb them. And you may have seen or witnessed some of those. Some of your clients, I believe, like Ayala Life was absorbed by Philam Life or BPI Philam, and then now it's AIA Philippines. So if you trust a good company, also make sure your documentation is proper. What does that mean? Updated. First, you did sign a contract, it was approved, so it's legit. Two, you paid the premium, meaning you paid for it, there's a receipt. If it's one time, like good for a year, if it's term or regular, continuous, 5 years, 10 years, or continuous, it's updated and paid to date. You didn't miss a payment. It didn't lapse, in other words. So updated. And also check your the details of the policy that you got. Is the coverage until a certain date? 1 year only? Is it until a certain age? Like in life insurance, sometimes it's until age 60, 20 years only, age 70, whole life until age 100. So check that your documentation is proper and in order. And if you do that, then you won't have problems with claiming. So it will be much easier. Now, do I still need to submit claim documents like just for this medical insurance? Yes. So there's a list of requirements. It's just SOP, standard operating procedure. Life insurance, there is like a death claim. You need a death certificate and some other documents, valid IDs, fill up the form. It's standard for medical claims, critical illness. There's a checklist. So just keep that in mind. And insurance will be real. So usually, when people say insurance is a scam, one, the company maybe was a scam. They weren't legitimate. They weren't governed by the Insurance Commission, SEC, or for the banks, it's the BSP, the central bank, Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. Uh, they didn't have a governing or regulating body. Two, the person's policy may not have been proper, the documentation. Did you sign something? Did you get official papers or documentation or e-policy nowadays? It's electronic. Do you have an official receipt for the payment? Is it updated? Is your insurance paid on time? Make sure it's not lapsed, right? Then you will be able to have a real claim from that. So, this is just a quick hit on the topic of money. If you have comments, people watching the live or the replay, comment down below. If you want to talk about any other topic aside from money, health, wealth, relationships, or maybe deeper stuff, your purpose, spirituality in life, comment live down below if you want to join me for a live like this. Now, for those who want one on one, you want more privacy, or you just want to do coaching, comment clarity call down below. What is this? So, this is for people, and I ask you, what is the biggest challenge in your life right now that you feel stuck with? And then I will listen to you first. Sometimes you just got to let it out. Number two, if you're open for it, then I will share feedback. So this is very helpful. This is perspective that will hopefully make you see blind spots, things that you were not able to see initially. And this is to help you get unstuck so we can move forward. So that's it for the topic of insurance. Is it real or a scam? So it's real if you follow the pro tips, the advice. It can be a scam. So we have experienced that. Some of you or you and me may have experienced that already in life. So always do our due diligence when it comes to that. Thank you. I love you. And I will see you next time.